So during chaplaincy training, I heard many students talking, and many have told me that they realize this isn't something I want to do, it's who I am. And that realization is freeing, because now you're not trying to become someone else's version of a chaplain. You're learning how to steward who God already made you to be. Some of you are naturally quiet and observant. Others are more expressive and conversational. Some of you connect through words, others through actions. And none of that is accidental. God knew the environments you would be sent into, and He designed you accordingly. If we only view chaplaincy as something we do, as a job to be done, we risk focusing on what we can do, not what He can do through us. We may be present for others, but only God can breathe life into our actions and bring His power to bear in their lives. I'm just going to say that one more time because it's absolutely bottom line. Only God can breathe life into whatever actions that we take and whatever we bring to bear in people's lives. And this is where many people unknowingly take on a weight they were never meant to carry. If you believe the outcome depends on you, you'll feel responsible for results that only God can produce. That leads to frustration, discouragement, and eventually it leads to burnout. But when you understand your role clearly, you can just show up, love well, listen, and follow His leading. And you can leave the outcome in His hands. It's not that we're being passive. It's just we are able to walk in trusting God with the outcome. Chaplaincy very closely models what Jesus did during His time on earth. He went among the people to meet their physical, emotional, spiritual needs. And He was moved by compassion. And that compassion always led to action. He met people right where they were. Jesus didn't shame them. He offered them love and hope. And compassion is more than feeling something. It's being moved to do something. Jesus spoke to people in ways they could understand, using examples that meant something to them. That means that if you're going to be effective in chaplaincy, there has to be awareness. You have to be able to read the room, understand the person in front of you, and communicate in a way that connects, not just in a way that is correct. A thief on the cross said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." No long explanation, no theological breakdown, just a direct, Spirit-led response. He approached the Samaritan woman, who was a social outcast, and He didn't shame her. He knew everything about her. Some of those things were not so great, but she didn't feel condemned. She felt His love. And that's something we have to be intentional about, because people often come to us already carrying shame, guilt, or fear. And if we add to that, even subtly, we close the door. But if we lead with love, we create space for healing. The second critical action says we make space for people. That means I need to have enough unscheduled time in my life to listen and respond when someone's in need. But it's not rushed, it's not forced, it flows. There's a pace to Jesus that we need to pay attention to. He was never in a hurry, yet He was always effective. He wasn't driven by urgency, He was led by His Father. And if we're not careful, we can let urgency replace discernment in our lives. Mark 6:31 speaks of a time when Jesus and the disciples had so many people coming and going that they hadn't had a chance to eat. And He said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to the quiet place and get some rest." The necessity of margin involves a balance in our lives. Luke 5:16 tells us that Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Chaplaincy can't always be scheduled. Nobody schedules a crisis. And this is where lifestyle comes into play. Because if every minute of your life is accounted for, you will miss the moments that don't fit into your schedule. Chaplaincy requires this margin. It requires a willingness to be interrupted, and not just tolerate that interruption, but recognize it as an opportunity. Jesus was often interrupted by suffering people He walked among. And those interruptions often became some of the most powerful moments of ministry. So we have to shift our mindset from this is inconvenient to this might be really important. The last thing listed in IFOC's critical actions is we train, prepare, and learn. And training really matters. It builds confidence. It gives language to what you're sensing. It helps navigate complex situations with wisdom. But training without relationship with God just leads to performance. And relationship without training can lead to missteps. We need both. We need to know where we stand legally as chaplains, because wisdom protects both you and the person you're serving. And in environments like trauma response, clarity is not optional, it's essential. As chaplains, we don't help other people so that we can convert them. And this is where maturity shows up, because it takes trust to believe that God is working in someone's life, even when you don't see immediate results. You may be one moment in a much bigger story, and that's enough.